What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode of NAS100 analysis today. I hope you guys have had a really good week in trading last week, okay? And if you're new to this channel, I believe you're going to find the content that I'm about to share with you today super useful. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like. So with that covered, we're going to get straight into it, right? So last week's video, we kind of noticed two areas of importance to me, right? So which was the high, right, and the low of the week, right? And that's where these two were set up, right? Now this week is somewhat a little bit different in terms of what we've got happening at the moment, and there's a lot of contradictory information that we're getting from the market at the moment in terms of what's happening in this area. But I am still strong in my belief that price will begin to start to break down, right? But however, it's not looking so clear as it's appearing on the chart right now. And there were a few instances last week, I'm not gonna lie, that I did get caught out, right? I did get caught out, and where I kind of loaded myself in the correct position, obviously it was on a Friday, so I had to take what I could take out of that and then just leave it as that. So ultimately last week was a losing week for me, right? Because I was downward facing, and I basically put myself in undesirable locations. It made sense, but market didn't stick to those levels. So I'm going to go into that now with you. Actually, I'm going to go into that right now with you, right? And then we're going to talk about where I think market is going to go. Okay, so last week, right? So last week I didn't place a trade on a Monday. I did not place a trade on a Monday, and I could have placed a trade on a Monday because I remember at the end of last week's video, I turned around and said something along the lines of, "Oh, market is playing games at the end towards that Friday, so it's quite hard to kind of figure out exactly where market wanted it to go." But in my opinion, it was straightforward. I should have said it at the time, but it literally was straightforward to figure out what direction market was going to go in, right? So it's either you could stick with the trend or counter trend. I was counter trending, so hence why it didn't really work out for me last week. And I'll give you an example, and I talked about it in that video, last week's video, okay, right? But however, I didn't show you again towards the end of the week, so therefore it didn't really work out. So let me show you what I mean. So this level right here is the daily high of not last week but previous Friday, right? So that's it right here. It broke on this level. Let me fix this a bit. So it broke over here, okay? So you could have taken entry up here, and we talked about that in the other video, right? In the last video to this one that you're about to watch right now. We had the same situation on the Monday, right? So this was the high point of the market. This was the high point of the market, okay? So price going above that level would have been a really good point to a really good level to put in your entries for a buy to the upside. I did see this, right? I absolutely did see this, but I didn't want to take this trade. Reason being is that I was still confident in my belief that price was going to start breaking down and that this was a fake out, right? And boy, did I learn it was not a fake out. So essentially I had a sell in this location right here. So I had a sell in this location right here, and my rationale for the sell was that at that point in the time, this was a lower high in comparison to this one, right? So all of this had not taken place. So essentially, how I drew the trend was something like this. I drew the trend as something like this. That price was going to break from this level downwards. That was my thinking. It was going to break from this level downwards, right? And that didn't happen. Obviously it pushed up, so I got caught out. And then on Thursday, noticing that we was at the top of the trend line, right, I put a sell right about here. So I put a sell right about here. We had non-farm payroll data. I took a look at that when that came out on the Friday, and that was on the side of a sell, right? According to how I interpreted that information, but it just was not strong enough. So what ended up happening on Friday was I ended up taking a very, very, very small profit, right, on my position that I had. But ultimately, it was a losing week because the loss over here, I wasn't compensated with the gains that I was able to make in this area over here. So it was a losing week on that Friday, which is fine. It happens, all right? Such is life, right? So moving forward, how is next week going to play out? Well, next week coming is going to be an interesting one for us, right? Interesting one. There are a couple levels that we also need to keep an eye on, and these rules that I talk about are rules that I actually stick to, right? I try to anyways, right? So the next thing is we have the weekly low of last week, which is at this level right here, and that is at 14,947.3. That's the weekly low. So let's just add in a little label right here, weekly low. And then we have the weekly high, which is right here. And the weekly high is currently set at let me see if I can get a level dead on. It's currently set at 15,631.5, approximate about, depending on if I got it dead on or not, but it's roughly around that zone, right? So we're just gonna add a little label to this one also. Weekly high, right? And what we have going on right now, so I'm going to change the color of my thingamajig for a second. So let me just draw it in. So what we have right now is we have price building up over here, right? So we have the kind of shape that I always talk about, the ascending wedge, right? So I'm just going to make this nice and bold so at least it pops out for you guys to see. And I think I'm going to make this let's say blue, right? So we have this ascending wedge. So this is what price is doing right now. It's bouncing up and down, okay? And what I will be waiting to happen, what I'll be waiting to see take place next week for Monday onwards, okay, is if the daily high, which is also the weekly high, gets taken out. And this is just to help me on the Monday, and then the rest of the assessment will then be based on the actual weekly levels, right? So just to help me decide what side I want to be facing, because we had the same situation over here, right? Had I actually decided that, okay, you know what, right, I'm just basically just going to go with direction of market, I would have stuck in the buy right here and I would have done quite well, right? But I didn't do that. I put in a sell. I should have actually followed what I knew to be common sense, right? So we're going to apply this common sense on this side moving forward. So the rules for Monday, okay, rules for Monday and Tuesday, these 2 days super important, okay, right, is if price takes out the low or the high of the Friday, that will give us an idea as to what direction it's moving in, right? So in my opinion, the daily low for the Friday is this right here, this level right here. So that's the daily low, and that will be 15,423.8. If price breaks above that, then breaks below that, sorry, then I'll be taking for sales, and it's actually in line with my overall bias, which is I'm downward facing. So this is going to be a good indicator for me to say that, okay, cool, it's time, the party started and it's now time to get involved. Now also, I want to do a count. As to how many times market has done certain things over the course of the last few weeks, right? So on the upside, we've had on the trend. So this looks like this is the overall trend, because price is obeying that and price didn't touch. So we're not going to count this as part of the trend. So at the moment we have 1 touch and 2 touch on the trend line that was set on Tuesday the 15th of August, right? And then we have another touch down here and another touch down here, right? So you have 2 touches on the bottom and 2 touches on the top, right? So in my opinion, okay, when price breaks down to this level down here somewhere, okay, I am not expecting it to go any lower. I'm actually not even expecting it to even break that weekly low. I'm expecting it to stay in the trend, most likely play around at this level right here, okay, or just peak below and then shoot back up again to give us a third touch, because on its way down to this side over here, this will be touch number 3, and then I will expect a push to the upside, and that will also make it touch number 3, and then from that point onwards, all of these levels at the bottom now become super relevant. They're now flaming red. They are primed to go. And also all the high levels at the top is also primed, because they're now primed to go as well. Okay, so based on what I've just said, the key levels that I'll be looking for once we have 3 touches on the top side and 3 touches on the bottom side will be either for this level to be broken over here, or for this level to be broken over here, and these are all weekly lows, and the previous weekly low was taken out at this level, but price has now decided to form a wedge to the upside. So that's what we have going on as it stands. So in my opinion, these are the levels that I'll be waiting for. A Monday entry, I'll be waiting to see if the Friday high or the Friday low have been taken out by market, okay? And that is clear for us to see. It's not complicated at all. It's quite straightforward. We just want to see if the Friday high gets taken out, or if the Friday low gets taken out. Friday high gets taken out, price is still going to be pushing up, and we continue to wait until we see a low that is taken out. Once a low is taken out, according to this trend that I'm seeing right now, it only makes sense that price will be pushing down to around this level, but only time will tell. Only time will tell, right? So based on that, that is my assessment for the market for next week. I wish you all an abundance amounts of profits in regards to the positions that you place for next week. I also wish the same on myself also, because we're in the same game, right? And also make sure you check out the description area. There is a link in there as well, so make sure you check that out. There are links for TradingView if you're not using TradingView. There's a link for a broker that I recommend, so make sure you go check them out. Also comes with a promo code, and also there is a link for a blog that I've put together for you guys that has a number of books that I recommend. It could be worth your while, so just make sure you go and check all of those out, okay? And also as well, if you like the content, you like the videos that I've been sharing with you guys, and you really want to support the work that I'm doing, obviously sharing with you the journey, basically you can just go to any video that you find most useful, that obviously that you enjoyed. So let's just say, for example, it is this one right here. Okay, so you can go to any video that you find super useful, okay, that you enjoyed the look of, you enjoyed the content information that was shared, okay, and you can just go over here, okay, and then just drop a little something just to say, okay, obviously you support the work. Okay, let's see how high this goes, because I haven't even checked. Jeez. Okay, so I mean, if you guys really love the work, I mean, you could do something like this, which is going to be really cool, right? That would be beautiful. But however, you know, just go over there, and obviously, like, if you find the content that I'm sharing with you guys super useful, you can then go in there and just drop a little sign just to say thank you. It would be greatly appreciated. So with all of that covered, my awesome people from all around the world, I want to thank you for coming over to watch another episode of NAS100 analysis today. I look forward to seeing you on the next one, and in the meantime, guys, you have an awesome trading week. So for now, this is Pips and Points signing out.